Hi everybody, Jo here again. Thanks so much for popping in today. I hope you enjoyed the extravaganza at the weekend. Now remember, if you were busy, if you were working, or just generally busy, family life, I know things get in the way, all the videos and the beautiful tutorials that the design team have made, they're all still available. So pop along to the Lavinia website. I can't speak. Or to our official Facebook page and have a look. They're all on there, so you can watch them on catch up. Now, I thought I'd pop along today with a nice relaxing. I'm a bit shattered, to be fair. My age, you know, full weekend demonstrating. Oh dear, I think I need to sleep. Little bit of hibernation needed. So we're going to create something along the lines of this look. Obviously, as always, little matching envelope. And I have been enjoying working on these smaller designs. So this is an A6, or I know sometimes they're called C6 cards. And I know some of you have been in touch and said that you like sort of the rectangular design. I know square designs can cost more to send. So I thought we'd create this. But the best bit of it is we're going to be painting with our new chalk acrylic paints. Now, I've had so much fun with these. So what we'll do, I'll just give you a bit of a closer look. And then I'm going to pop that there. But this card would be great for so many occasions. And I do think we need cards like that. Well, I certainly do. You know, those emergency ones. So I'm going to start with a piece of, this is just Multifairies card, and it's 8.5 centimetres by 13. And this is often, sorry, excuse me, the size of the offcut. When I cut two of my, I use the A4 Multifairies sheets and cut them down. And often I cut square, is it 12.5 centimetres, 13 centimetres? Anyway, this is the strip left, so it fits perfectly. And what I'm going to do is do my stamping first. And today we're going to stamp in Versafine Clair the pine cone. But I'm going to pop over the top the Wow regular gloss clear embossing powder. And that's just to give me a raised edge and a bit of a gutter. I told you I couldn't speak. You know when you're having one of those days where your just brain's a bit funny and tired, and so do excuse me if I put the wrong word in the wrong sentence. I'm so sorry. Definitely got cotton wool in my head today. If I show you, not only do we get the beautiful gloss look, but it gives us a raised edge, and I found when I'm painting that really helps me, and I like the look. And I know we could use a coloured embossing powder, but for me, I love the clear because then I can stamp in all my different colours of Versafine Clair and put the embossing powder over the top. So I'm going to use the forest leaf, and it actually fits perfectly just at a slight angle. Although it's a big stamp, it's amazing how it fits perfectly on that A6 card. Now I take the lid, very dangerous, I know, mustn't knock it over, off my embossing powder first. And then, so I hope you're keeping well. I hope things are going okay. Always lovely to pop in on a Monday. Start of a week. What have you got planned? Anything nice? As I say, I think lots of catching up on sleep, and might just go in the garden for 5 minutes. I do find when I just need to shut off from the outside world, a little bit of deadheading or weeding in the garden will just do the trick. And I just fancied brown for a change. It's nice to use a different colour other than black. We often get asked what colours of ink to buy, and obviously black tends to be the first choice, but I do find this brown, this pine cone, I use this a lot. Great for men's cards as well. So a lot of detail in this stamp, so I'm giving it a good press and then straight on with the embossing powder, and again cover the whole stamp, put the whole pot on because it's going back in there anyway. And then I'm just going to sort of tip mine one way just to catch the lovely swirly bits. There we go. And then very carefully turn it round and then just tip it back the other way, just so that I just catch, as I say, all those lovely swirly bits. Tap its bottom So make sure we've got all those. You can pop your anti-static bag over first if you want. I find, to be honest, it's only clear. So if I get any little spots of embossing powder, it doesn't matter. And then we'll pop that all back in there. And this is the bit where you've got to be careful not to sneeze. Again, give that a good tap. Good brush. We want every little bit in, don't we? And lid straight back on. And then I'm just going to heat this up. So I'm going to bring in my embossing tool. Now, I will switch it on so it will be a bit noisy, and it's best to let it heat up to start off with. So you want it warm, and then once it's got to that good heat, I'll then pop it on my card, and I'll see if I can hold it so you can see. Obviously now it's quite dull. As it starts to heat up, it'll go shiny. So again, it's important to let your heat tool, just let it heat up properly. Only takes a couple of seconds. Once it's heated, look, let's see if we can capture this. So as I start to move the heat tool around, can you see how it changes? You can almost see the brown coming through. And it's important to slowly, methodically work your way round. So can you see the difference there? So I'll just turn it round and you can see which bit we haven't heated. So we'll just come in. Finish that off. And as you can see, it gives such a lovely raised and such a glossy edge. Now, if you're after a quick monochromatic card, do you know what? I think you could actually send that. So again, if you wanted to stop there, but my gut feeling, to be honest, would be while you're doing this and while you've got your heat tool out and your embossing powder, I would create sort of 5 or 6 of these. This is a great card to batch card make. Now we're going to come in with, move that out of the way, some of our lovely new acrylic chalk paints. Now the colours I'm going to use are Tapenade, Soft Cyan, Snow White and Calypso. And what I tend to do, you have to give them a little shake, but I have one of these gorgeous, are they petal daisy palettes? Something like that. They're on the website, in the container section, the palettes. And I just decant a little bit onto my palette. And as you can see, I've been painting with this all morning. Now, a little tip here for me personally, I leave mine to dry and I clean it at the end of the day. Because for me, I find the palette is easier to clean. Once the paint is completely dry, it cleans off easier than actually when it's wet. And if you don't believe me, have a go at both. I find if I wash it, I almost get paint all over my sink. It gets wet, it gets everywhere. Once it's dry, a quick wipe with a damp cloth and it all comes off. So some scientist somewhere is going to tell me the reason, but let me know what you think. For me, works a treat. Anyway, tiny little drop of each colour in here. And we're going to have some fun watercolour painting. Now, I've told you before, I certainly don't do colouring. I'm no expert. This is just my way of playing. And I tend to use, where's Mr. Inky Binky? Just going to have him here. I tend to use 2 sizes of my brush. So I've got the number 1 and the number 4 of our lovely watercolour brushes. And I'm going to come in first with the number 4, the larger one. And you want your paint quite watery. So I've just got sort of a watery, and I'm just going to pop it just a little bit, almost like a bit of a starting point on each leaf. And then I'm going to come in, mix some green. And as you can see, just mix a little area. And we'll just add a little bit of green on each one. Now, again, you'll find your own way to do this. And depending, you might want them all the same colour. I'm going to come in with this lovely orange. Oh, honestly. There is a colour chart. Pop over to the website because, honestly, the colours that these come in, fabulous. And again, depending what time of year, what season, or it might even be depending who you're sending this to, that you decide what colours to use. And again, there are lots of different ways. If you've got a different way of painting, you know, you carry on. I'm just doing my little quick play. I mean, to be honest, as long as you enjoy what you're doing. Now, what I tend to do now is change to my finer brush. And what I'm going to do is just now take that paint and just move it to the edges, but also blend it. So it's like the orange. I just want the orange to come here. And I find this way I've less chance of creating mud. If you're not careful, I don't know about you, but when you're mixing colours, you can very easily end up with mud. So I'm just dragging that colour to the edges, look. I just keep washing my paintbrush. Then I just want to drag a little bit. If I need a bit more, look, I can pick a little bit more up. Just get that orange there. And I want to drag that into that green, just to blend it across. And this is the bit for me where it's the playing. And I tend to use this bit just for mixing. Pick a little bit more green up, but obviously I've got more control because it's a finer brush. So I'll add the green just into there. In fact, I want a little bit more green on this one. I mean, you can have so much fun with these. And I'm just blending those colours. I'm just picking a bit more where I need it. Now, I want a bit deeper green, so I'm just going to add a little bit more. Can you see? So, obviously, the more concentration of the paint you've got to water, the darker the colour will be. I tend to do almost a wash first, so it's quite watery. I find for me that gives me the best results. And then I can come in with more concentration of colour and add it where I want it. So, probably just a bit darker there. And then I can look at any bits and see. So for me, this one here, I just want to, that orange, I just want to add a bit more orange just down here and at the base. And then just going to blend that a bit more. If you find you've got too much colour, don't forget kitchen towel. And I just dab off a little bit with kitchen towel and it takes it off. So again, you know, play, just have fun. Maybe a little bit more blue on there. And you, I mean, again, you know, make yourself a nice brew, get yourself a cheeky snack. And you could just have fun. As I say, if you batch card make these while you've got your paint on your palette, because it will go. I mean, I haven't had any more. Look at this. It goes so far. If the colour's a bit deep, that's why we've got the white. So again, if you wanted to say add some highlights somewhere or just soften it off a little bit, again, we've got that white look. I often find just a little white area like that. Just clean my brush because I'll have picked some paint up. Maybe on this one here, just a little bit of white in that area. Again, if I didn't like it, just dab it off with my kitchen roll. Oh, and there. And you can use it just to blend, but I'm happy with that. I love that. So I'm just going to move my paints out of the way because you know what will happen? I'll be putting my elbow in them. If I just bring that up, so you can see how quick that is. Now they're acrylic, so they don't take that long to dry. For me, I would let them dry naturally because A, I don't want to use my heat tool again because I don't want to overburn my embossing powder. If you're one of our new followers, if you put too much heat on embossing powder, once it's embossed, it will go flat and you'll lose the lovely raised edge, which is what we want the embossing powder for. What I do want to do, if I show you the finished one, a little finishing trick, can you see the shadow? That beautiful blue shadow just around? And for that, I'm coming in with one of our clean colour brushes. And this one is number 302 Haze Blue. Now, you can either use a light blue or a grey, so don't worry too much about the number. Just look for either a light blue or a grey. And I'm just going to add, because of the brush nib look, it's so easy to just follow And I just want to add a little bit of shade, look, just at the base. So we'll have some shade here and here, and that side will just be, and again on the bottom here, just a little up that side. If you want to add some on the swirls, but I think that makes such a difference. And also I've added a few with my lovely, this is a sparkly Posca. If you're not into your splats, stop there. But I'm just going to add a few again. I'm going to be very controlled. I'm going to hold it close, look. Now I've got a water splat there. I don't know where that's come from, but not to worry. There we go, mop that up. Just a few more. That's it, I don't want to overcook it. And we're going to pick a word from our lovely sentiment stickers, 6, and the white one. So if you remember, we have black, vintage and white. And I'm thinking special one. I like that. So this is for a lovely special friend. And I'm going to just pop it in that corner there. And just use my scissors. It's not quite straight. There we go. And that final finishing touch for me, when this is dry, mine isn't quite dry, but I would come in with glossy accents. And all I would do is add, I'll do it on this little spare piece of card, look. I always check mine on my mat first, but just little drops, and make sure you hardly touch the card, lift it up, and that way you can get some tiny little drops, look. Beautiful little droplets. Now, they do take a while to dry, so I would put that somewhere safe. But once they dry hard. Perfectly okay to post, but what happens then is they look to me like little droplets of water. Like we've gone out in the morning and little dewdrops of water on our beautiful leaves. So I'm hoping you enjoyed that. Now, I know quite a lot of you make your cards for charities, for hospices, places like that. Now, do you know what? I think this will be a lovely card to batch card make. And again, it could be a get well card, a thinking of you card, just a cheer you up card. So I'm hoping you have a go. Please tag me in. I can't wait to see what you do. And I'm hoping you've got some of the new acrylic paints. Again, let me know what you do with them. So we've got the videos with them on the gel press. Fabulous with stencils on the gel press. And now we're going to be sort of, well, I was going to say watercolour painting, but the sort of, what does acrylic and water? Anyway, painting with them. I'll let you think of a name. You take care. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Enjoy your evening. Thanks for being here. Love and hugs from me. Bye for now.